My name is Elena. The first thing I notice every morning is the smell of his coffee. Dark roast, 2 sugars, no cream. Mark always brewed it in the French press while I was still tangled in the sheets, the steam curling up like a promise that today would be gentle. Our apartment sat on the 12th floor of a brick building in Seattle's Capitol Hill, windows fogged from the Puget Sound drizzle that never quite stopped. I'd pad across the hardwood in his oversized UW hoodie, the one with the frayed cuffs, and he'd kiss the top of my head before handing me the chipped blue mug we bought on our honeymoon in Santorini. "Morning, ill," he'd say, voice still gravelly. "Morning, babe," I'd answer, and the day would unfold like every other. Me sketching logo mock-ups at the kitchen island, him on client calls in the spare room we turned into an office. We were the couple people posted about. Relationship goals, the caption always read under our photos. Mark's architectural firm was finally turning a profit after years of late nights. My freelance design side hustle paid the rent. We weren't rich, but we had plans, a house in Madison Park, a dog named Pickles, kids someday. Sarah lived 3 blocks away in a loft she swore was temporary until her photography career took off. We met sophomore year at UW, bonded over burnt espresso in the library cafe. She was the maid of honor at our wedding, the one who caught the bouquet and joked she'd frame it. Every Thursday, we did wine and charcuterie on my couch. She'd bring the prosciutto. I'd bring the gossip. That Thursday, the rain hit the windows like static. I remember the exact second everything cracked. I'd left my laptop charger at the office. Dumb mistake, and came home early. The elevator dinged too loud. I turned the key slowly, like I already knew. Mark's laugh echoed down the hallway, low and private, the one he saved for me, then Sarah's voice, breathy. "We have to tell her eventually." "Tell me what?" I said, stepping into the living room. They sprang apart on the couch like teenagers. Sarah's lipstick was smeared across Mark's collar. My best friend, my husband. The prosciutto sat untouched on the coffee table, sweating in its paper. "Elena," Mark started. "Don't," I whispered. My legs felt borrowed. Sarah stood, smoothing her skirt. "It just happened, we didn't mean." "Get out," I said. My voice didn't shake. It should have. She grabbed her purse, eyes wet. "I'm sorry." The door clicked shut behind her. Mark reached for me. I stepped back. The hoodie sleeve slipped off my shoulder like dead weight. 6 months, he said quietly. It's been 6 months. 6 months of Thursday wines. 6 months of me asking why he worked late. 6 months of Sarah texting heart emojis under my selfies. I slept in the guest room that night. The walls were bare except for a framed photo from our engagement shoot. His arms around me, her in the background holding the ring box. I took it down and set it face down on the dresser. The glass cracked anyway. The next morning the apartment smelled like burnt coffee. Mark had left the French press on the burner too long. I opened every window, let the cold slap me awake. My phone buzzed 47 missed calls, 23 from Sarah, 24 from Mark. I silenced it and stared at the divorce papers I'd printed at 3 a.m. The cursor blinked on the signature line like it was daring me. I didn't cry in the shower. I cataloged instead. The way Sarah's laugh used to fill my car on road trips. The scar on Mark's knuckle from the time he punched a wall after his dad's funeral. I wrapped the memories in plastic and shoved them to the back of my mind. At noon, the doorbell rang. A courier in a yellow jacket handed me a thick envelope. No return address, just my name in tidy black ink. Inside, a cashier's check for $70,000 and a single post-it. For the life you were meant to have. Giga to Grandma Gloria. She'd died 2 years ago. Left everything to Mark's uncle because blood is thicker. Except this. A secret account she'd never told anyone about. The note smelled faintly of the lavender sachets she kept in her sweater drawers. I sat on the kitchen floor, check trembling in my lap. Mark walked in, hair damp from the gym. "Elena, we need to talk." "Sign these," I said, sliding the divorce papers across the island. He scanned the top page. You're keeping the apartment. I'm keeping everything that's mine. My voice sounded like someone else's, steady, cold. He opened his mouth, closed it. I'll be out by tonight. That night I moved the couch to face the window. Rain streaked the glass in silver threads. I called my lawyer, then my bank. The money was real. The betrayal was real. I poured a glass of the good pinot Sarah always brought and toasted the empty room. Sarah texted at 20:14 a.m. Can we meet? I can't sleep. I type you tomorrow, Blue Moon Cafe. 11. Then deleted the thread. The cafe smelled like burnt sugar and wet wool. Sarah was already in the corner booth, eyes puffy, clutching a lat like a life raft. I messed up, she blurted before I sat. I know sorry doesn't. Stop. I slid into the seat. I'm not here for sorry, or she blinked. Then why? Because I need you to listen. I told her about the check, about Grandma Gloria's lavender ghost, about the apartment I was keeping, the business I was starting. Her face cycled through confusion, envy, shame. You're rich now, she whispered. No, I'm free. She reached for my hand. I let her fingers brush mine, then pulled away. Don't call me again. Sue outside. The drizzle had turned to mist. I walked home past the market, past the couple arguing over avocados, past the life I used to fit inside. The 70,000 wasn't revenge. It was oxygen. The first thing I did was change the locks, not metaphorically. I called a locksmith at 9:03 a.m. the next day and paid extra for same-day service. The guy in the cart jacket whistled when he saw the view. Nice place, he said. I tipped him 20 and told him to keep the old keys. Mark's boxes were stacked by the door like cardboard coffins. He'd left a note on top, I'll pick these up Friday. I love you. I crumpled it, then smoothed it out again and slid it into the trash, under the coffee grounds so it wouldn't haunt me. The 70,000 sat in a new account under my maiden name. I stared at the balance until the numbers blurred. Then I opened a blank spreadsheet and titled it Phase 1. I wasn't crying anymore. I was calculating. Step 1, disappear from their orbit. I unfollowed Sarah on every platform, muted Mark's family group chat, deleted our shared Spotify. The silence felt surgical. Step 2, build something they couldn't touch. I'd always sketched logos for startups. Cute side hustle. Nothing serious. Now I had seed money. I registered Carter & Co. Studio leased a tiny office in Pioneer Square with exposed brick and a skylight that leaked when it stormed. I hired Maya, a junior designer fresh out of Rusty, who wore thrifted blazers and asked 0 questions about my puffy eyes. Step 3, let them see me rise without ever seeing me. I started small, a rebrand for a local bakery, pastel palettes, hand-lettered tags. The owner cried when I showed her the mock-ups. Word spread. Within 6 weeks, I had 3 more clients, a yoga studio, a craft beer startup, a nonprofit for foster kids. I worked until 2 a.m., fueled by cold brew and the low hum of revenge that tasted like espresso. Sarah tried once, showed up at the office unannounced, clutching a paper bag from the bakery I just rebranded. I brought scones, she said, voice small. Maya glanced between us. I nodded toward the door. We're booked solid. Sarah's lip trembled. Alana, please, leave the scones. Lose my address. The door clicked shut. Maya raised an eyebrow. Ex-bestie. Ancient history, I said, and meant it. Mark was subtler. An email from his work account. Saw your new site. Looks incredible. Proud of you. I forwarded it to spam. By month 4, Carter & Co. had a wait list. I hired a second designer, then a project manager. The skylight still leaked, so I bought a stupidly expensive crystal bowl to catch the drips. It sparkled like a middle finger. I ran into them at the farmer's market in October. Mark had his arm around Sarah's waist. She wore the scarf I'd gifted her for her 30th. They didn't see me at first. I was behind the honey stall tasting lavender-infused gold. Elena? Mark's voice cracked. I turned slowly, jar in hand. Hey! Casual, like bumping into a coworker. Sarah's eyes flicked to the Carter & Co. toad on my shoulder, the one with our new logo, sleek, untouchable. You look good, She managed. I see, I said. Deadlines. Date Mark shifted. We're engaged. He held up her hand. The diamond was modest, conflicted. Congrats. I smiled the way you smile at strangers. Gotta run. I paid for the honey and walked away. The drizzle had stopped. The air smelled like wet leaves and possibility. That night I framed Grandma Gloria's post and hung it above my desk. For the life you were meant to have. The lavender scent was gone, but the words stayed. The gala invite arrived in a thick cream envelope, gold foil lettering that caught the hallway light like a wink. Seattle Design Collective Annual Showcase. Black tie. Pier 62. My studio had been shortlisted for Emerging Studio of the Year. I held the card between two fingers, pulse ticking in my throat. Mark's firm was a platinum sponsor. Sarah's photography had been selected for the lobby installation. They'd be there. I wore midnight silk that clung like water, hair twisted up with the pearl pin Grandma Gloria wore to her own wedding. Maya did my makeup in the office bathroom, humming under her breath. You're terrifying, she said. Capping the lipstick? Good, I replied. The pier smelled of salt and cedar smoke. Chandeliers hung from the rafters like low stars. I stepped inside and felt the room tilt, just slightly. Mark stood near the bar in a tux that used to be mine to straighten. Sarah beside him in emerald, clutching a champagne flute like a shield. Their eyes found me at the same second. Elena. Mark's voice carried over the jazz trio. He crossed the floor, Sarah trailing. You came. Wouldn't miss it. I accepted a glass from a passing tray. The bubbles stung my tongue. Sarah's gaze snagged on the pin in my hair. That's family heirloom, I finished. Some things are worth keeping. The MC tapped the mic. And the Emerging Studio of the Year goes to Carter & Co. Studio. Applause crashed like waves. I walked the runway alone, heels steady on the salt, warped boards. The trophy was heavy crystal. I lifted it high enough for every flash to catch my face. Later, in the garden terrace, the city glittered below us like spilled coins. Mark cornered me by the railing. I'm messed up, he said quietly. I know that. But seeing you tonight. Stop. I kept my eyes on the ferries cutting black water. You don't get to miss me? Sarah appeared, eyes glassy. We're leaving Seattle. Mark got an offer in Portland. I turned then. Good. Start over where no one knows what you did. She flinched. You won. No, I said. I just stopped losing. They left separately. Mark first, shoulders folded in, Sarah lingering like she wanted one more word. I didn't give it. Inside, Maya clinked her glass against mine. To dripping skylights and middle fingers. I laughed, the sound bright and foreign in my mouth. The next morning, the Seattle Times ran a photo me center page, trophy raised, silk dress catching the light like a blade. Caption Elena Carter's meteoric rise. My phone buzzed with new client inquiries. I let it ring. I walked to the market where I'd seen them last. Bought lavender honey, a single peach. Sat on the same bench and peeled the fruit with my thumbnail. Juice ran down my wrist like forgiveness I hadn't asked for. Mark's boxes were gone from the hallway. The apartment smelled only of coffee and new paint. I opened the window. Gulls wheeled over the sound. The 70s Aluzin had bought the studio, the gown, the trophy. But the revenge, the real one, was quieter. It was the morning I woke without checking for his side of the bed. It was the Thursday I drank wine alone and didn't count the glasses. It was the life I built on the ashes they thought would bury me. I still keep Grandma's post, it above my desk. Sometimes I touch the ink, feel the indent of her pen. She knew betrayal leaves a door cracked open. I just walked through it. The rain started again, soft as static. I left the window open and let it wash the floor.